The largest crowd to see a World Series game since the White Sox played in the Coliseum in '59. So I'm basically sick of hearing all those other weak comments about the pitchers and everything else, and everybody crying because Atlanta, Baltimore, and New York aren't here. We beat them. And the Indians beat everybody they had to beat. And to be honest with you, the subject is over, and it's making me puke.
You could tell he was a little upset. Well, our own Julie Croteau caught up with him today and asked Jimmy Leyland whether or not the anger that he felt the other night continues because his team, in fact, beat the Braves and still doesn't seem to get due respect.
Well, I don't pay much attention to that. I mean, I think the Braves were the best team. We dethroned them. Somebody had to do it. We did it. To me, for '97, that makes us the best. So I really don't take offense to that. I think that, you know, we've had a real good year, and we need to cap it off yet. But, you know, it's been exciting. It's been wonderful for South Florida, and I just leave it at that.
Do you think you had a better team in '91 in response to that?
No, I don't necessarily think I had a better team in '91. I think I had the best team in '91 and didn't win. So, but it's two different ball clubs, and that's a long time ago.
Now, your team, this team that you're playing with now, has overcome injury, illness, adversity, and now you're one game away from the World Series. How does that make you feel?
Well, you feel good, but I think a lot of teams overcome those things. A lot of teams that had good years had injuries and illness and have overcome a lot of things. So, you know, the Cleveland Ball Club, they weren't perfectly healthy all year, and they did it. They beat the Yankees and the Orioles. So, you know, you have to do those things. And normally, whoever wins probably did those things.
Now, 33 years in professional baseball, 12 as a manager. You started as a Double-A coach. What does tonight mean to you?
Well, I think, you know, like I said, I think this is for all the minor league guys that don't think they're ever going to get a chance, because I obviously wasn't a very good player. But I think tonight, you know, this is living proof that, you know, you can reach your dream. And I'm not talking about necessarily winning a game. I'm talking about, you know, getting a shot to manage in the big leagues and someday maybe going to the World Series. So for all those guys, I hope they're watching.
Now, you've really molded this team more than built this team, and this is your first year with them. And you've managed to gain the respect of, you know, some of the best minds in the game and some of the best players in the game. What did you do to make this team come together so quickly?
Well, number one, I took my time. I think, you know, I didn't come in and force myself on and say, hey, here I am, this is my team. This is not my team, this is our team. And I think that I kind of let it flow to see the different personalities, see what they were like. I don't think you can come in and try to put your stamp on anything, you know, stamp of approval or disapproval. So I kind of just let it flow, and I could see it coming together. And every once in a while, I'd step in and mention a little something. But for the most part, I think it's the type of personalities you have and the type of people you're dealing with. And we got good personality, we got good people.
And you seem to have really good relationships with your players. I mean, after you won the pennant, you hugged each one of the guys. I mean, can you talk to us a little bit about those relationships?
Well, you know, that's, you know, I come from an emotional family, a lot of children, and we had a lot of that going on when I was growing up. So that's just, that's not out of character for me. That's normal for me.
Finally, Kevin Brown on the mound tonight. He's your staff ace. Didn't have a good performance, his first performance in the series. What are your thoughts about his performance tonight?
Well, you know, it's pretty nice to have a one-game lead and your best pitcher going, and if that doesn't get it done, we'll try again tomorrow. But, you know, Cleveland's going to have something to say about that. But like I said, I think the one thing that it's worked out kind of good is, you know, we had Brownie going over there in Game 6 in Atlanta, and through all the adversity and through everything, you know, to think that you got a 3-2 lead in Atlanta and now a 3-2 lead in the World Series, and Kevin Brown is on his regular rest and ready to go. You know, if that's not good enough, we'll try again tomorrow.
That little smile that's always there. Jim Leyland, skipper of the Marlins, with Julie Croteau. That was tonight as he got ready for this ball game. And believe me, there is some kind of noise and excitement here tonight. And there will be an MVP of this World Series. And when we come back, Ken and I will take a look at whom it might be. House fills here at Pro Players Stadium for Game 6 of the '97 World Series. And all the folks here are hoping it will be the final one. And then the celebration in Miami will be ringing long into the morning hours. Welcome back, everybody. Gary Thorne and Ken Singleton. And there will be an MVP to be named. In the history of the World Series, there's only been one MVP that came from a losing team. Bobby Richardson, New York Yankees, back in 1960 when they lost to Pittsburgh. So defining the MVP, Ken, kind of simple for the World Series?
I think it is kind of simple. You look for the guy who's had the best 7 game or whatever series it is, and then guy who's made the most contributions towards the winning effort. Sometimes it can be a pitcher, sometimes it can be an outfielder or an infielder. Bobby Richardson had 12 runs batted in back in 1960, despite the fact that the Yankees lost. That 12 RBIs is a World Series record, so I guess they had to give it to him one way or the other, though the Yankees lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-3.
Now, the question is, can a 22-year-old rookie win the MVP?
That is quite possible. Leyland Hernandez has been tremendous. He's picked up 2 victories in this World Series. Go back to game 1. You got to know the pressure was all on this youngster, 22 years old, making his first start in the World Series, and he came through here at Pro Player Stadium with a victory as the Marlins went on to win game 1. He also had a great game 5 in Cleveland. In cold conditions, he came through, got off to a rocky start, but then made some great pitches as the Marlins took over the lead in that ball game, particularly with his curveball to David Justice. He gets a double play and gets out of a major jam, something he was able to do time and time again. Leyland Hernandez would be a worthy candidate for the MVP.
A pitcher, now a hitter, Moises Alou.
Moises Alou has 9 runs batted in this series. 3 of them came in game 1 off of Earl Hershiser. This was the blow that put the Marlins out in front, broke a 1-all tie, a 3-run shot off the foul pole, put the Marlins in the lead. They would hold on and pick up the win in game 1 of that series. Also in game 2 of the series, Alou came through with another big hit. Hit a shot that Marquise Grissom couldn't come up with. It was off the scoreboard, drove in some more runs. We mentioned Alou has 9 RBIs in this series. He didn't hit well in the National League Championship Series. He was also out for a few games with a bad wrist, but he has come on with a vengeance here in the World Series. Then we move to game 4. Still swinging the bat well off of Chad Oj. Hits one to the wall and out of there for a home run, his 2nd home run of the series. That was off of Jared Wright.
Perhaps none bigger than the last game when he delivered this bomb. The 2nd time he has had a 3-run homer off Oral Hershiser in the World Series. Ken sat down with him this afternoon and asked him how he felt about that one.
When I got into 2-1, I mean, I don't mean to be cocky or anything like that, but I felt right then that I had a chance to do something good because I saw his pitches, I took some of his pitches, and I knew that I was going to get him. I mean, I didn't know I was going to hit a home run, but I knew I was going to hit the ball hard. And, you know, he made a mistake, hung me a breaking ball, and I hit it. And I was so excited running the base. I never seen myself so excited. I was yelling. I don't even remember what I was yelling, but it was good. And then we scored a couple more, and we won the ball game.
A couple of might win it from the Marlins. For the Cleveland Indians, they got Matt Williams to be an MVP. He might be.
He might be, but I really think the Indians are going to have to win these next 2 games. Matt Williams has been great at the plate. He's also been outstanding in the field. Matt Williams came over from the San Francisco Giants in a trade. Here he hits a home run off of Jay Powell, and this was a rocket into the cold, cold night in Cleveland as the Indians went on to win that ball game 10-3 over the Florida Marlins. That was game 4. But I think Matt Williams has been excellent during the course of this series, not only with the bat, but also in the field. He has not made an error at third base.
The MVP of the All-Star game could be the MVP of the World Series.
And Sandy Alomar already has had a great series. Defensively, he's a Gold Glove winner. And look at the play he made early in the series. This was in game number 1. He also had a home run, and this is game 2, I should say. Also had a home run in game 2. That was the exclamation point for the Indians as they won 6-1 and beat Kevin Brown.
Alomar's been nothing short of fantastic, picking up the hits and the RBIs, setting records for RBIs and home runs by a catcher. But for him, if they lose tonight, despite how well he has played, will it be a bittersweet performance if this team cannot come through here in game 6? He had the last chance in the last game. Can he get another one of those tonight?
Definitely, it would be a lot better if we win. I would like to talk about what a great year you had, but you end up losing the World Series. I would like to say what a great year Sandy Alomar had, and they won the whole thing. That'll be a lot better. And we have our chance. We're going to get our chance tonight and tomorrow night. So it's either go home and be champions.
candidates. Moises Alou, .350 average, the 9 RBIs. The rookie Livan Hernandez, 2-0, a 5.27 ERA. The only rookie MVP, Larry Sherry, a pitcher with the 59 Dodgers. For the Indians, Sandy Alomar, you can't do much more than what he has done at the plate and in the field. And Matt Williams with that .400 batting average, 3 RBIs. As we said, the only MVP from a losing team, Bobby Richardson of the 1960 Yankees.
I think the only way that they can take it either way from Alou or Hernandez is the fact that the Cleveland Indians are going to have to win these last 2 games of the World Series. Win here tonight and then win again tomorrow night and take the championship back to Cleveland. I think that's the only way that Sandy Alomar Jr. will win the MVP or Matt Williams, because of the strong series that both Alou and Livan Hernandez have had.
And I would think one of the things the Marlins have to deal with here tonight is trying to keep things down a little bit, because the excitement here is unbelievable.
You know, the blood has to be pumping through their veins. They got to feel that they've got a chance to end it all tonight, and surely they feel that they'd like to get it done and get it done tonight here in Pro Player Stadium.
They got the 1997 World Series continues from Miami, Florida. Game 6 with the Florida Marlins at home and leading in this series 3 games to 2. They could wrap it up against the Cleveland Indians with a victory here tonight. They have come ready to rumble. They have been here many hours, many of them already, and a chance to be the first Marlins team to win the championship, and in baseball, the first team to win a championship without having won the division during the regular season.
Well, they were the wild card team, first wild card team to get to the World Series. They might be the first wild card team to win the World Series.
Dave Dombrowski, the GM, who said he had a 5-year program. It indeed is on schedule, no matter what happens tonight. The Marlins take the field. Let's take a look at the starting lineup tonight for the Indians, brought to you by MasterCard. Bip Roberts at second base, Omar Vizquel the shortstop, Manny Ramirez in right field, Dave Justice will start in left, Matt Williams at third base, Jim Thome at first, Sandy Alomar doing the catching, Marquise Grissom in center field, and Chad Ojai, the starting pitcher for Cleveland.
Game 6 of the National League Championship Series, Kevin Brown came through with a complete game victory against the Atlanta Braves, propelled the Marlins into the World Series. Tonight, he has a chance to make the Marlins the world champions. Has a fastball in the mid-90s. He is their ace. Won 16 games during the regular season. Also throws a cutter, a slider. Everything is hard. They like to say he has HSS, hard sinking stuff. Very tough to get the ball in the air when he's working well. A lot of ground balls. His fielders will be very busy tonight. We check out the Marlins defensively behind him. Alou, White, and Sheffield. The infielders I mentioned could be busy. Bonilla, Renteria, Council, and Jeff Conine all should be on their best behavior. Charles Johnson behind the plate. Kevin Brown on the mound. Moises Alou's been swinging the big bat. Years ago in Montreal, he was with the ball club. He became known as the man in Montreal. He's been the man here in Florida this year after they signed him to a new contract. And Jimmy Leyland would like to see his ball club just perform one more time this year.
The first pitch moments ago thrown out by Vera Clemente, the widow of Roberto Clemente. And Roberto Clemente Jr. came out after she threw that first pitch for the picture taking here with Greg Zahn. You'll see him on the right side, and a great round of applause for Roberto Clemente's widow. Clemente continues to be just second to Rod Carew in average and hits all time for a player born outside the United States. We're ready to go. It's always a great thing in sports when you finally get to the game where you can honestly say somebody must win. That is the case for the Cleveland Indians tonight. And with 1,000 flash bulbs going off, Kevin Brown delivers the first pitch strike to Bip Roberts. Roberts, the switch hitter, 5 for 19 in the World Series.
Let's go back to the first pitch for just a second. Here are the flash bulbs as the pitch that the first pitch of Game 6 that might send the Marlins to the World Championship was delivered.
The Marlins fans on their feet. They are copying the Cleveland Indians crowd by rising to every occasion here with a 2-strike count. They stood to applaud for a strikeout. Brown, who can get plenty of them, gets one there.
Gary, we were talking about Brown's hard sinking stuff. Watch this ball sink and go down and away from the bat of Bip Roberts as he strikes him out. That type of movement makes Kevin Brown very difficult to hit.
Tied for 5th in strikeouts during the regular season. He has now struck out 21 in 28 1/3 innings here in the postseason. And the pitch, a strike taken by Omar Vizquel. Vizquel has struggled here in the World Series and in the postseason. Even has had some strikeouts for a guy who was very difficult to take down with a strikeout during the regular season. Has not been able to get on base with the degree of certainty that he did for the Indians. They'll need him to do that here tonight. Brown inside, 2-1.
Kind of a different look for the Indians tonight. They've gone to their blue tops. Maybe they feel that the road uniforms that they won 1 out of 2. They have to win 2 this time here in Florida.
That one is fouled off, and Brown is ahead has evened up the count here, 2-2.
And I can guarantee you, if Cleveland wins the ball game tonight, you'll see those blue tops again tomorrow night.
Superstition everywhere. They are 3-3 on the road in the postseason.
And there are the high socks, a Cleveland trademark.
2-2 delivery by Brown. That one lined towards right center field. Devon White over. We have just returned from Cleveland, where the temperature was down in the 30s. Here it is 27 Celsius, 80 Fahrenheit. The wind right to left, partly cloudy tonight, and it is humid here in Miami this evening. A significant difference, like 50 degrees worth.
Certainly more like baseball weather, and you can see that even the players aren't bundled up. Manny Ramirez with his short sleeves, the same for Kevin Brown.
2 down, nobody on here in the first inning. Ramirez 4 for 22 in the World Series. Livan Hernandez looking on from the dugout. And a chopper foul off Ramirez at the plate, and Brown's getting ahead of the hitters here. 2 strikes.
Right now, Kevin Brown is among the Power 5, I like to call him, in the Cleveland lineup. Ramirez, Justice, Tobey, Williams, and Alomar. They, as a group, during the regular season, averaged 96 RBIs as a group.
He has thrown 11 pitches and 8 strikes. That'll keep him off the base paths. Two strike pitches up high, 1-2. Brown had won his last 7 during the regular season. He won his first 2 in the postseason. Finally lost a game in that last outing in his start in the World Series. Ramirez fights it off to keep it 1-2.
Now, these fans are fired up here tonight. They were loud in Cleveland. That's no doubt about that. But here, I think they sense that this might be the last time to let it loose. They'll have to turn and then start rooting for the Dolphins and the Panthers.
They're hoping it's just going to be one big, long celebration tonight. One of the things the Indians will want to do is try and quiet this crowd by getting a lead. Missed with that one outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Ramirez. Kevin Brown, 16-8 during the regular season. A ground ball pitcher personified with that hard sinker. 2-2. Missed inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ramirez is 3 for 12 lifetime against Kevin Brown. He is 7 and 10 lifetime against the Indians. Just missed. Home plate umpire Ken Kaiser had the shoulder started up but did not call the strike and a 2-out walk.
I think the late movement is what did in Kevin Brown. That little sinker just sunk right out of the strike zone. Ken Kaiser, a veteran umpire, 21 years in the American League, former pro wrestler, so they won't give him much guff.
Ed Montague, Dale Ford, Joe West, Greg Kosk, and Randy Marsh, the umpiring crew. So with 2 down, Ramirez is on the 57th walk that has been given up in this series. There has never been a World Series in which there was an average of 10 or more walks a game. In this World Series, the average is 11 walks per game. That can make for some ugly baseball.
Well, the 2 pitchers tonight, both Brown and OJ, have pretty good control. I would think that that number would come down. It's been the bullpens have been walking a lot of people.
David Justice, strike 2.
The way that Kevin Brown pitches, the hitters know that just about everything is down. Well, that last pitch was up, and you saw how it handcuffed Justice. Wasn't expecting it up there.
Brown missed inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Even when he's missing, Ken, he's not missing by much.
No, that's a good sign as far as the Marlins are concerned.
Justice, power hitter. 1-2 delivery, and he rips that one to right, but it's going to curve and be a foul ball in the corner. But out front of that one, 1-2 still.
Justice readjusting that contraption on his elbow that earlier this year he injured it, hyperextended it, now wears a brace. You can see he's out in front, and 89 miles per hour. You mentioned he was a little out in front. That was the reason why.
1-2 delivery to him. That one towards second base. Craig Counsell, and they get the force to Renteria. No runs, no hits, 1 left on base. Kevin Brown gets out of the first. The Marlins coming up. Starting lineup for Jimmy Leyland, brought to you by MasterCard. It'll be Devon White in center field, Edgar Renteria at short, Gary Sheffield in right field, Bobby Bonilla at third, Jeff Conine at first, Moises Salou in left field, Charles Johnson catching, Craig Counsell at second base, and Brown on the mound.
Here's a look at Chad O'Jay. He's going to get the start for the Indians tonight. You'll notice right away he does not throw as hard as Kevin Brown, but he does have pretty good control. Pitches well to both sides of the plate, has a good curveball and an excellent change. That is what kept the Marlin hitters off balance in game number 2 as he picked up the victory, working 6 2/3 innings, and struck out 4 in that game, but didn't walk many.
His second start and appearance of his career in a World Series. Devon White goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. White, the switch hitter. Been a long postseason for him. The 5 for 22 in the World Series, and just 204 overall in the postseason. White takes the fastball up high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You mentioned Devon White has played in 2 previous World Series, in '92 and '93 with the Blue Jays. Each time he's been on the winning team.
There are some World Series rings held by a few players. Center field, Marquise Grissom. And White is retired, 1 down.
So Marquise Grissom in center field. The rest of his teammates out there tonight. Justice in left field, Grissom in center, Ramirez in right, Williams, Vizquel, Roberts, and Tomei will round out the infield. Sandy Alomar Jr. behind the plate. Chad O'Jay on the mound. Dave Justice, usually the designated hitter. Of course, National League rules being played here in the National League Park, so the pitchers will hit. Justice will be out in left field as Mike Hargrove has made the adjustment. Of course, you have to have Dave Justice playing. He's been one of his best hitters.
Got to get him in there, even though he was a designated hitter most of the time during the season. As Edgar Renteria is up, takes the pitch for a ball. Back here in the National League Park, the pitchers hit. There is no designated hitter. Chad O'Jay, 26-year-old right-hander. There's that curveball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Remember, because of the injuries he suffered, he has worked only 126 innings during the regular season. So his arm has not had the number of pitches thrown this year that most of these starters on both teams have had to throw. 2-1.
There's a fastball, 89 miles an hour. That's about what he will top out at. Mark Wiley, the pitching coach for the Indians. Kevin Brown throws about 95 with his top fastball.
Renteria with that 6 for 21 in World Series play has a 2-1 count. Breaking ball again, fouled off down the right field line, and a long run. What a play by Ramirez. Manny Ramirez had a long way to go and is not noted for making great outfield plays, but that was an outstanding play.
First of all, Ramirez got a good jump. The ball seemed to hang up. You see him check to see where the wall is, reaches out at the last, makes the catch, and somehow stops himself before he goes over the wall. So a good play by Manny Ramirez to pick up out number 2. Looks like the Indians have bought the gloves with him tonight. They're going to make the plays.
Every out so important. Renteria tried to elbow it foul, but it wouldn't go. 2 away, nobody on. Gary Sheffield coming up. Don't know if the wind affected that, Ken. The wind tonight, if you look out at center field, is blowing from right to left. Sheffield drills it deep, but it is going to be a foul ball.
Yeah, that's a long, loud strike as far as OJ is concerned. Off-speed breaking ball kind of hangs up there on the inner half of the plate. Sheffield looked like he was looking for that pitch all day long. Shows up at the park, he gets it and pulls it foul. A little bit too anxious.
Well, he hit that ball hard. Sheffield is having an outstanding postseason. He leads this team with a postseason batting average of .349. Leads it with 13 runs and 15 hits, 17 walks, and tied with 3 home runs with Alou. And that one to left field, not hit quite as hard, and that's the reason it'll stay there for Justice to catch it. So Chad OJ gets 3 fly ball outs here, and he gave all of his outfielders a chance to catch one. He went from center to right to left. No score after 1. Tonight's presentation of the 1997 World Series is brought to you by MasterCard, the future of money, and by Pepsi, Generation Next. A scoreless first inning here at Pro Player. Kevin Brown ready to go back to work, and Matt Williams has hit successfully in the first 5 games of this 1997 World Series. Williams threat for the long ball, but this one on the ground and off Bobby Bonilla. Renteria will have no play, and Williams is on, and it will be an error. Charge to Bobby Bonilla at third base.
Ball was hit well by Matt Williams, but Bonilla should have had it. See, he had his glove open, and it hit off the thumb of the glove, and then ricochets towards Renteria at shortstop. That was a playable ball, and in fact, they're not going to give Bobby Bonilla an error. They're going to call that a hit. My goodness.
Ouch.
I wish I were hitting that guy was the official scorer all the time.
The home official scorer calls it a hit. So he's on at first base. Now Jim Thome, the big left-handed hitter, they put a little shift on Thome. He's had a couple of home runs. They move the shortstop Renteria over towards second, and Bobby Bonilla over towards the shortstop hole. Clog it up in the middle. And outside to Thome. 1-1.
When you look at the second baseman right here and the shortstop right here, they are playing closer to the bat, closer to second base, so they have a chance for the double play. They might play Thome a little bit further to pull. Counsell would to his left if there was nobody on. But when you're going for a double play, you have to be near the bag to actually touch it and make the play itself. So that's why they cheat a little bit. For a hitter, you look at those big holes particularly between first and second, and you try and pull the ball into the outfield.
Jim Thome's hit successfully in the first 5 games of this series. Matt Williams on at first base, being held by Kevin Brown. For Tomey, 8 for 31 with 2 home runs lifetime off Brown. Brown goes away from him and misses and is behind on the count 3-1. This is a guy who has given Brown problems. So he's worked him outside, inside, outside, but not in the strike zone.
He's going to eventually have to come in there.
3-1 pitch. Foul back into the screen, 3-2.
Tomey was ready for this one. A 3-1 pitch. A guy who's hit 40 home runs is certainly going to have his best swing, and he had a good one at this, but got on top of it. And that late movement by the pitch by Kevin Brown was what kept that ball in the ballpark.
Tomey grounded into 9 double plays during the regular season. And off speed walked him. Throw him an off speed pitch there. That's the second walk surrendered by Brown, and now the Indians here in the second inning have 2 on and nobody out. And they've got their hottest hitter coming to the plate in Sandy Alomar. This will quiet the house a little bit. There's the reason why. 455, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs for Alomar.
They were hoping that the Indians would leave him in Cleveland.
And that one is fouled off outside of third. He also has hit Kevin Brown hard. 10 for 33 with a home run against him. Comes up to a .303 batting average.
And of course in game 2 he lit him up for a 2-run home run in the 6th inning.
Get power against power here, Ken. Brown's throwing a lot of fastballs up in that 94, 95 mile-an-hour range.
Yeah, he still wants that ground ball for the double play. That's his best way of getting it.
They have reached for one out of the strike zone right there. 2-strike count on Alomar.
And not only does Kevin Brown throw hard and his stuff moves, each one of his pitch moves, he has an awkward delivery to pick up.
Alomar is 8 for 15 with runners on base. Only one player has had more hits than that in a single World Series. Outside, that was Marty Barrett of all people. Went 10 for 14 in 1986 with the Boston Red Sox.
And you know what happened to them?
They lost.
Yeah.
1-2 count. 2 base runners on. Nobody out. That one hit in the air, not deep, right center field. White. Look out. White makes the catch. Sheffield, though, coming over. A minor collision.
They're going to have to get air traffic control together out there. It seemed that Sheffield, you know, that's what happens when you pump too much. You want to do everything yourself if you can. Now, Devon White, a Gold Glover, he's saying, I got it. Maybe with the crowd yelling, he couldn't hear him. But fortunately for the Marlins, the ball was not dislodged from White's glove. And also fortunately for the Marlins, Sandy Alomar Jr. did not advance the runners while making it out.
Did not move them up. So they're still at first and second now. Williams at second base. Jim Tomey at first. And Marquise Grissom, 8 for 18 here in the World Series. A great postseason, batting .310 overall in postseason play. Every one of these at-bats in this game is enormous. I mean, you get chances. You've got to take advantage of them, especially if you're the Cleveland Indians. Brown to the 1-0 pitch. Misses inside. 2-0.
For Cleveland to get a jump on Kevin Brown and get on the scoreboard first would be enormous. Against, you'll find that the better pitchers, their team scores first.
Indians must win to force a game 7. Grissom 5 for 13 against Brown in his career. 2-0 count and a slow roller foul outside of third. 2-1. Note they've got a number of people in this Cleveland lineup who have hit Brown hard. Brown has faced the Cleveland Indians a number of times, having pitched in the American League. That's why these hitters had a chance to see him so often.
Grissom, of course, had his streak broken at 15 consecutive games, second longest hitting streak in World Series history.
Here's the 2-1 delivery. Inside, 3-1. Now remember, without the designated hitter in effect here in the National League Park, the pitcher hits. And that is the next batter due up. There is Chad O.J. on deck. 3-1 and the bases are loaded for the pitcher. Well, interesting options here, none particularly easy.
Well, first of all, with the lack of hitting by American League pitchers, Chad O.J. is at a distinct disadvantage. Even National League pitchers don't hit all that well, but at least they're used to going to the plate. O.J. is not. He was 0 for 2 in regular season play. That's in interleague play, which just came about this season. And he's 0 for 2 in postseason play.
4 at-bats and he's swinging. One of the first things that would come to mind here is, do you want him to try and lay down a bunt?
I don't think so, because he's not used to doing that. And you put him in a situation, anything that could happen, at least a lot of them are bad. They might get the bunt down, you get the run in. But the other things that could happen could be bad and get you right out of this inning.
He had 2 sacrifices in the regular season. He swings away again and a 2-strike count. Why he would swing on the first pitch, I will never understand.
That's a good question. I mean, here's a pitcher. He's just Kevin Brown has walked 2 this inning.
He doesn't want to hit. He just wants to get on base, and he goes after the first pitch.
Maybe a swinging bat is a dangerous bat.
0-2 count. Bases loaded. Way outside, trying to get him to chase one. 1-2. Kevin Brown with 1 away here in the second inning. Bases loaded. Williams, Thome, and Grissom are on. He has walked 3 already. Had walked only 7 in his 4 postseason starts, and he comes inside there. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes on the opposing pitcher.
Well, it looks like right now that Kevin Brown is looking for his release point. That's why you see the pitches sailing way out of the zone. He can't really get to the point where he wants to release the ball to guide it into the strike zone.
2-2 delivery. Credit O.J. with fighting off a pitch.
I'll tell you, O.J.'s making him work now. O.J. did play at Louisiana State University. And a lot of instances down there, maybe got a chance to hit. It's not the best swing you would want to see. I mean, here's a guy who doesn't swing very often, but you know, he is making contact. And as I said before, a swinging bat is a dangerous bat.
He's waiting as Brown went to the back of the mound here. 32-year-old Kevin Brown looking for a strikeout. 2-2 delivery. O.J. Ooh. That caught him in the head after it came off the ground. It's a foul ball. Where'd that get him, on the cheek?
It looks like he's rubbing his cheek or near his mouth, and came right up off the ground. And remember, he said Kevin Brown stuff sinks, so you're apt to hit the top half of the ball. He did. It comes up and it hits him in the face. He wasn't even staggered, though. I give him a lot of credit. Hitters can play that to the max for an injury.
That hurt. 2-2 the count. 6th pitch in this at bat, and he's got a base hit. Do you believe that? Williams will score. They'll wave home Jim Thome. The throw not in time, and Chad O.J., the opposing pitcher, has delivered 2 RBIs with a single. And if there is an omen in this game, you just saw it.
Well, that certainly make his cheek feel better. It might hurt a bit to smile, but he was doing it at first base. Chad O.J. kept fouling off pitch after pitch after pitch, and finally got the base hit in the right field to drive home the first 2 runs of this ball game. If this is not uplifting for the Cleveland Indians, I don't know what is. Remember, their pitchers don't hit very often during the regular season, only in interleague play when they're on the road in a National League park. And Chad O.J. with a base hit. Maybe the first one he's ever had.
That's got to be his first hit, because interleague play just came in this year, and he didn't get one. We told you in this series, expect the improbable. The dugout in disbelief. That is the first base hit by a pitcher in this series. Pat Borders on the right, Oral Hershiser high-fiving one another.
It looked like it took him a while to come off the bench, like they didn't believe it.
Bip Roberts fouls it back, strike 1. 2 runs in. Grissom stopped at second base. O.J. at first. An amazing start, and we talk about they want the baseball here. There it is coming in. They're going to keep that. Kevin Seitzer. That's his first hit. You'll never forget that.
Oh, World Series. Oh.
My. 2 on. There's still only 1 away. 2 runs on 2 hits and 3 walks off Kevin Brown. Bip Roberts takes it up high. 1-1. The only problem here for Cleveland is that Chad O.J.'s got to stay out there as a base runner. I mean, they'll take it. But he's a pitcher here who may not get much rest between innings. You're right. He hasn't found that release point, Ken.
And when he does throw a strike, he has to aim for the middle of the plate, and that's how Chad O.J. got a base hit. You know, sometimes you saw the ball come into the dugout there for O.J. Sometimes they will switch balls on him and right.
Bip Roberts up the middle. Council's got it. There's one. Renteria to first, and they get the double play. 4-6-3 double play, but damage done. 2 runs coming on a couple of hits, and 1 by Chad O.J. For the Cleveland Indians, going to the bottom half of the 2nd inning. There's the baseball.
I mentioned it. Sometimes they will switch the balls, and they'll write the date on it and whatever, that O.J. got his first hit, but they will write something really ugly on the ball, and then they'll present it to him. He's out, and then they'll give him the real ball.
Ken, you mentioned earlier these socks. The Indians wear their socks up to their knees. Sebastian Hartel of Germany on our email wanted to know, on our website rather, wanted to know why.
Well, it goes back to August the 27th. Now, Jim Thome always wears his socks like this. And his teammates on his birthday honored him by all coming on the field with their socks up high. And the club started to win some ball games. So they stayed with it. And now they're in the World Series.
They're not going to give up on it now. Ground ball, second base. Nice backhand play. Roberts, and Bobby Bonilla is retired on 1 pitch by Chad O.J.
Here's the first pitch of the inning. Bobby Bonilla going for it. A fastball down right where he likes it. In fact, he hit the ball pretty hard. Bip Roberts on the backhand. You figured if Bip Roberts come up with ground balls, he's down there with them already. So he makes the play and throws out. Bonilla leading off the inning, and Chad O.J. has 1 out on 1 pitch.
After spending all that time on the base pass, he would like nothing more than a quick inning here.